hat trick. The United States women's national team kick off their Women's World Cup campaign with a squeaker over Thailand. Could Paul Pogba be on his way to Madrid or Turin? We'll discuss. And is the Women's World Cup ticket really that hard to come by? We'll discuss. Post to Post starts now. Yay!
USA!
I believe that we. Yeah, there we go. I don't want to get into that.
That's the worst. That's the worst
welcome-
chant in the history of sports. By the way.
Welcome to Post.
Worst. Absolute
Glad
worst.
to have you along. We are just off of the United States women's national team opening up their Women's World Cup campaign with a squeaker over Thailand. Mike Fuentes here to discuss that and, of course, a number of other stories that we have for you. First of all, get us your comments in. There's people not talking about the fact that the U.S. won big. What they're talking about is the fact that the U.S. celebrated winning big. A lot of football journalists and fans out there saying, hey, okay, the U.S. ran it up. We get it. But did they really need to celebrate the way that they did?
Yes.
Mike Fuentes, what do you think?
I think the 12-0 shoulder-to-shoulder thing, like you just accomplished something, was a little much. But yeah, but still, I mean, show some decorum, some class.
But
right?
hang on.
You're at a funeral.
But hang on a second.
You're at a funeral. That's
a good point.
Yeah,
It's a
show
good
some
point.
class.
But what about the notion that we don't know what these women have gone through to get to this point? That the struggles that they've had personally, professionally, and maybe this is just something that, hey, as a team, it's a team building exercise. Yeah, they're running it up, but every goal matters in this tournament because goal difference and goals scored is something that they take into account.
So we need to think about the tribulations of the American women, but we got to forget the Thailand girls that they just got embarrassed on a world stage. Like,
First of all, you're playing
dismiss that.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
I don't agree with
I'm
that.
not saying you're doing it.
You're
I'm just saying.
playing at the World Cup,
Yeah.
the biggest tournament in football. So don't come at me with
Look,
this.
look.
Oh, we should have only after
I
7
don't-
goals, we should have kept the ball in
No,
possession.
I didn't
and
say
just
that. I
played
didn't
it
say
back
that.
and forth and not scored
That's
the
fine.
goals.
You can score 25, 30, 100. I don't care. But after goal number 78, we don't need the whole the shebang. You know, I mean, there's other people there too. You know, if you want to play the compassion card, you know, that's what I'm saying. I don't mind running up the score. I totally get it because Sweden's going to come out and do the same thing to Thailand. They're going to try to score 13.
Right.
You know, because like you said, all the goals count.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't think you need to be, you know, doing the fireworks because you scored goal number 15, you know?
Let me just put this in a little bit of perspective. Thailand have lost their last 5 matches now, including this loss to the U.S. They've been outscored 28-2. In those 5 games, they've played Italy, France, Belgium, the United States, and there's one other team in there, but I can't remember. But in a stretch from May of last year to July of last year, 11-game stretch that included the Women's Championship, the Asian Women's Championship, and a bunch of friendlies, Thailand outscored their opposition in 11 games 59-7.
Yeah, they were dropping it on people.
So, I mean, there's obviously a huge difference in terms of the quality of
Talent
your
gap,
opponent in Asia versus playing on the world stage, even in friendly matches. So, I mean, I get it. Yeah, Thailand got embarrassed today, but you're playing on the biggest stage, and maybe it's a matter of addressing the competitive difference in the level
Like
of
I said,
football.
I don't have a problem with scoring 1 million goals on them. That's the competition. That's how the rules are. I just don't think you celebrate when you're clearly better.
But hang on a second. This was a point that was made on social media. Would you be complaining if the U.S. men scored 12 goals against Thailand and were celebrating?
That's never going to happen, so I don't got to worry about that. But like right here, like Jamie Cisneros, the men's national team needs to learn from these women. You can't learn talent, so they don't have to worry about that. But no, but
What-
like I
let me
said, the
ask you this.
celebration's a problem to me. Not
Let me
not how they won.
Let me ask you this, and you guys can chime in on this as well. What does a result like this mean in regards to the credibility of the Women's World Cup?
I don't think it's that big of a deal because the men's World Cup has the same situation every year. Remember they had North Korea in there one year?
Right.
And North Korea was the whipping boy. Sometimes it's Fiji, sometimes a team like Faroe, sometimes it's Honduras, sometimes it's like there's other teams that get this same, treatment.
same treatment.
Exactly. Like we had, we were saying it after in the last World Cup when Italy and the Netherlands missed out. Oh, well, how come Honduras is here? when they should be somebody else. Just the way the tournament's formatted.
Right, but to your point, if Thailand goes through this tournament and doesn't score a goal, and they get blasted in every game by, let's say, at least, let's say the opposition scoring at least 5 goals on them, and they're getting dropped like that, like, does that not do damage?
It has something, because it's a global tournament, right? So you want to keep the whole entire world involved. If you do that, you'd have to eliminate some of those lower tier teams like Jamaica. You know, if you look at the world rankings, Jamaica's actually the lowest team ranked. Right? They might go through the tournament without scoring a goal. So if you start redrawing all the lines, you might end up excluding some regions that no longer really make it a full global competition.
But there are other tournaments, and I'm thinking hockey because Canadian. but at the World Juniors and at other tournaments, what they'll do is they'll put the weaker teams in a pool together.
Yeah.
And put the stronger teams in a pool together.
And the best team.
And then they kind of move them around from year to year based on how they do. That's I mean, I just think there's a bit of a competitive disadvantage if you're in a group that gets Thailand versus a group that's going to get, say, Italy or France.
That's how you get groups of death, right? Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a fundamental change with the tournament that needs to happen. I don't get paid to figure that out. None of us do.
Okay, let's hit. Oh, go ahead.
Wouldn't it be more arrogant if you don't celebrate while scoring that many more goals, though?
You can celebrate, but you don't have to do the full team celebration on the sideline.
Let me just
and the cartwheel.
Let me just say this: I have no problem with celebrating goals because scoring a goal at a World Cup, a goal period, is hard. That's hard. So I don't have a problem with them celebrating those.
Let's
goals.
not be too hard. 13-0.
Well, I get that. I get that.
Alex Morgan had 5.
Let's go through some of the comments here. Canardo, Jersey in the house. Which Jersey? Oh, wait, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to say, which team?
Oh, he had 11 new ones.
Congrats. Yeah, we got a lot here. It's the World Cup. It's all competitive. This isn't a friendly tournament. It's a World Cup, no holding back, says Jacob. Great point. Jean says it's a game. You just scored 12 goals. They shouldn't feel sorry for being good. I'm sorry, not everyone gets a trophy.
I didn't say I feel sorry. I'm just saying you don't have to celebrate. Especially Alex Morgan. She had already scored 4 goals. She doesn't need to celebrate the 5th one.
Chung here says U.S. women's national team will probably beat the men's national team.
That's not true, but it's a funny thing to say.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So, yeah, not going to happen. Nah, no way.
Guns N' Roses knows what he's talking about.
See? Guns N' Roses. See? The unnamed guy knows what he's talking about.
The unnamed guy. Mike Fuentes.
Look me up on
his
Instagram.
name, by the way.
That's Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Guns N' Roses.
Ryan says, if people aren't able to show class in situations like this, then there's no point in having a word like sportsmanship. I get it, but...
Like I said, I don't mind them scoring a bunch of goals. I just don't think you celebrate goals 10, 11, 12, and 13. At that point, I'm pretty sure it was over.
Carrillo says the same thing. U.S. women would whoop the men. They're in charge of making it competitive. Yeah, that's the... Bobby Bowden said, I'm not in charge of you. I'm not in charge of me. I'm not in charge of...
I don't remember Bobby Biden had it, but Jimmy Johnson had a similar quote where he said, I can't speak on your team playing poorly. Right. I can only take care of my team, and they're going to play their best.
Right. My job is not to tell you how to beat my team. My job is just my team to win. Yeah. Yes, very clear. If you know you're a good team, why bother in celebrating when winning 12-0? So it seems to be, there seems to be a basic sense here that you guys agree. The U.S. should not have been celebrating the way that they were celebrating 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, no problem with the goals. Just, I mean, you can dial back the celebrations. They were acting like they just hit a game winner when, in the 2 minutes left.
Okay, so now if you're Thailand, how do you respond to this? Like, how do you pick up the pieces after you get beat? I mean, yes, at the end of the day, it's a loss. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Thailand came into this game thinking,
they're going to win,
we're going to hang with the U.S. women's national team.
Yeah.
I think they came into this game thinking, if we keep it to 3 or 4, we'll be okay. But to come in and get blown out like that, what do you do now?
Well, you got another tough game coming up against Sweden, and maybe try to play some defensive tactics. I mean,
but Sweden, the scoreline flattered Sweden today. Sweden did not play a great game against Chile. Chile played very well defensively against Sweden. One bad bounce gave them the first goal, and then the second goal was, came late into stoppage time. So I think the scoreline today flattered Sweden. I'm not saying Sweden's not going to pump.
Yeah,
Thailand,
I mean, I think that's more of showed how quality Chile could be compared to, Thailand. I mean, that's Sweden being bad.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't anticipate them enough. We'll see.
Is this the Colombian?
What, can they score this many on Sunday against Chile?
USA? Is that the Colombian aspect there?
Probably not.
Colombian rivalry? Stop crying about celebrations. Most of the world does the same. You lack class by not playing hard and enjoying yourself. That's the other side of it, too. I think that because they were saying, maybe they should call the game. Maybe they should set in a rule that if it gets to double digits, maybe then they just call the game. No, if you are Thailand, You don't want the game called. You play that full 90.
Enrique, if any other team in this tournament scores 13 goals in a game, I'll buy you any jersey you want. Since most of the world does the same, just remember that. So if any that ever happens, I'll buy you any jersey you want. You can pick it.
Women's national team better than the so-called big boys. Good for the U.S. women's national team for celebrating every goal. By the way, I'm Canadian, so I'm not biased. Nice, Bradley. Nice.
If you have to say it.
Welcome here, Bradley. Welcome here. Mike doesn't think very highly of you after you guys celebrated
yesterday.
KD.
Yeah. At least the guys in the first 10 rows.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with celebrating goals regardless of who the other team is. That's pretty much the consensus of what, everybody seems to agree that it's not necessarily a great thing.
Each goal for the 13 colonies. That's great. That's the best comment I've had in weeks.
That's the winner.
Yeah.
We have a winner.
That's the best comment in weeks.
We have a winner. By the way, the 13 is the most goals ever scored in a Women's World Cup game. Alex Morgan had 5 goals. Those 5 goals moved her, I think, into a tie for third on the all-time U.S. Women's National Team World Cup scoring list. So there you go.
How old is
5
she?
gols from Alex Morgan.
How old is she? I think she has another one of these in her.
29?
Yeah, she has
29?
one more. She'll be at one more.
Yeah, 29. So, yeah, she might be able to do that.
Desta saying, Germany continued to score more goals against Brazil in 2014, but they put the brakes on and they kept the ball. But that was an elimination game where goal difference didn't matter. They were going to the final.
She's tied with Carly Lloyd now.
Yeah, there's like 4 of them that are tied on 8 goals, I think. Yeah, that's the thing. Goal difference is the second tiebreak.
Yeah.
Goals scored is the third.
So the goals actually count, so you can't blame them for running up the score.
Yeah.
Once again, my problem is not with the goals, only a celebration. Next.
So next game versus Chile.
4-0 U.S.
4-0 U.S. That's
we're
the
doing
bold
bold
predictions.
predictions. Really?
Gino.
Nice.
Gino getting in there with the bold predictions.
4-0 USA Sunday against Chile. They're going to tell Chile to chill out, and they're going to win 4-0. Tell your dad not to steal that one.
I'll say, yeah, exactly. I'll say 5-0. I'll go 5-0 U.S.
5-0?
5-0 U.S. win that one. The U.S. did not allow a goal in qualifying. They scored 26 without reply in qualifying.
That means they're due.
So, I mean, I think if somebody scores against them,
yeah,
that's a win. For
then you can celebrate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we both picked the USA to beat Chile. So let's get into, Gino, some daily news.
Ooh.
There it is.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Just quickly, Brees is chiming in here. Scoreline for Sweden didn't tell the whole story. They missed a few clear chances as well.
Hey, bro, misses are misses. All right.
Yeah.
If I counted up all my misses, boy, let me tell you.
Only counts in hand shoes and
horseshoes and hand
grenades. That's
go.
right. Okay. The first bit of daily news we wanted to get in on is Germany have lost one of their star midfielders, Jennifer Morozen, who's been ruled out of the World Cup for now with a broken toe that she suffered in the opening game versus China, a 1-0 win. The Lyon midfielder won her 4th Champions League title this past year. She's got 91 caps for that team. The broken toe, she played the full 90 and got diagnosed with the broken toe. Now they're saying she's possibly out for the rest of the tournament. But they play Spain next. And Spain's coach has come in and said, man up. Why are you not playing with a broken toe?
I don't know. Yeah, me myself, I've
There's
been
the
able
quote.
to play with a broken toe. We have examples of players who have been able to suffering with a broken metatarsal. So tomorrow we expect the best players in Germany, and Morosan is among them. That's a stupid thing to say. We should break his toe and see if he can walk out without anything.
I've never had a broken toe, but I've stubbed my toe on chairs lots of times and
Yeah,
thought they were broken.
exactly.
And I just know that pain itself
that's
is,
enough for
is
me not to
difficult
do
to
it.
walk in. I mean, come on. We've all given the full, we've all given the chair or the end table that full.
But like, who's giving out toughness awards like that? Like, is Vilda like on the board of that? Who cares, dude? Like,
Jeremy, where you're ready to go play a full 90-minute soccer game.
well, why even say anything at all?
I pretty much I think I actually got my mouth washed out with soap by my mom because I think I let out every swear word in the book on that one. But
Like, I just don't like. Why is this even a thing? Who asked this? Like, who like?
Well,
that's like you're giving out too much information.
this to me is a bit, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like it's a bit misogynistic.
But it's
Like, this is a man
questioning
saying
a
if
woman's
I had
toe.
a broken toe, I'd go out and
But
play.
he's also-
Why can't she?
But he's also the coach of another women's team who Germany's playing again. It's just such a weird thing to say. Why bring this up at all? It's It's like, oh, like he should think, like, oh, well, I guess that benefits us. That sucks. You want to play the best team by.
If she's one of their best players, which she is,
Yeah,
it's a blow to Germany to not have her there.
Yeah.
So if she's they've now lost one of their best players, but you're like, wow, she should play with a broken toe.
I'd be like, oh man, that's fortunate for us.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't want to play against her.
Yeah, so that's that, and we of course, Marozhin, hopefully we get to see her again in the tournament. If Germany go deep, there is an opportunity that she could return.
Ooh, come back for the final, go full
based on
KD on it.
So there we go. Yeah. Also, too, FIFA has come out and rejig some of the numbers for the ticket sales at the Women's World Cup, because they had stated that there was only a few tickets left for a certain number of games. And then we're seeing on TV stadiums that are half empty, upper decks that are not sold. So people were starting to ask, hey, wait a minute, what are you talking about? There's lots of tickets available. Now FIFA's come out and said, okay, hang on, it's not quite as much as we said. There's still lots of tickets available. So yeah,
maybe it's for more of the popular games.
But is this another example of FIFA just being like, are they completely stupid? Like, do you not know the game is on television, that people are going to visually see that there's not anybody there?
Listen, man.
Like, that to me just seems like...
FIFA's got a lot of problems.
Very FIFA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's right on brand.
No, it's on brand.
It's on brand.
Yeah. Let's get to some of the comments. I played through a high school game with a broken foot once. Money changes people.
Wow.
Hey, man, I don't blame him. I'm
sure the intensity of a high school game is the same one.
Was the chair damaged by stubbing your toe?
Damn right.
That chair's never been the same.
Exactly.
That Guns N' Roses guy sounds logical. That's your new name.
That Guns N' Roses guy?
Forget Mike. It's Guns N' Roses guy.
Oh, more like guns, right?
Wow. Okay. No. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I did have a friend. I played in a hockey tournament with a guy who I used to work with. In the opening game of the hockey tournament, he took a shot off his ankle.
Oh, you told me the story.
And
he didn't take a skate off.
And he knew that his ankle was broken, and he didn't take his skate off the whole weekend. Played in every game. And we didn't win anything. We didn't win anything. We weren't even playing for anything.
Bro, that guy must have smelled awful. Unless he was showering with the skate on.
That's a whole separate story. 'Cause he would never wash his equipment.
Yeah,
he smelled bad on purpose so that when he was in front of goal, guys wouldn't want to go near him.
But
a brilliant strategy.
But that means
actually.
He never took his skate off.
All
right,
weekend.
which means he was taking a shower with the skate in a bag.
He didn't shower.
Exactly. So he must have been terrible.
Of
That's
course.
disgusting.
Of course, man.
God, you Canadians are weird.
It's hockey. Come on. You do what you do.
People are dressed as empty seats at the stadiums. It's pretty good.
That's actually pretty good.
That's pretty good.
FIFA is used to making mistakes. I'm glad he's willing to ruin his career on a broken toe.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Well,
she's willing to ruin her.
Yeah. Well, no, him. She's talking about.
Oh yeah. Vilda would be awarded. Hang on.
Vilda should be awarded the trophy from the Board of Broken Toes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. That's. I just don't get it. It's a stupid thing to say.
Other stuff we wanted to get you, transfer news that's come out on this day, or in the last couple of days, it's kind of been ruminating for a while, is the fact that Manchester United might be losing Paul Pogba, their star midfielder. Real Madrid, apparently Zinedine Zidane, has become enamored with Mr. Pogba, the Frenchman, and wants to bring him over to the Bernabeu. Asking price of 170 million is what they're looking at. Apparently Real Madrid are willing to pay it. Pogba, by all accounts, does want to leave Manchester United. Mm-hmm. So what does this mean for Manchester United to lose a guy like Paul Pogba if he goes?
I know he's a big name, and I know he's played well for them at times.
World Cup winner.
But if he's an asset that can give you more, because Man United has a bunch of holes. We all know this, right?
Right.
If you can spread his talent around, especially if Real Madrid want to overpay, then you can, it just depends on what you can get for him, because you need to get a fair deal, because you need to turn that deal into other deals.
Right.
So
what do you think of the prospect of, because Real Madrid went into the offseason saying we've got about 14 players we want to get rid of, including Bale and James Rodriguez. Do you think this is maybe an avenue where United can actually make additions by subtracting a guy like Pogba, by bringing in a Bale and a James, maybe in a bit of a swap deal?
I don't know. I think you put that burden on Real Madrid to handle their roster spots, and you just try to get the cash in. Because are you really going to gain any ground in the Premier League, where you have Klopp doing what he's doing with Liverpool, you have Guardiola doing what he's doing with City, and now you're basically taking Real Madrid's secondhand garbage that they don't want, and you're going to try to turn that into some kind of Premier League success?
Hey, one man's trash is
another man's treasure. Yeah, but that's just trash. and one is always hurt. And so it's like it's I just don't know if that's the way to go about that deal, because you're basically when Zinedine said, "Hey, Bale's not in the plans," and you know he's injured, what leverage does that give Real Madrid with Bale?
No,
If I know you don't want him, I'm not going to pay you anything for him.
No,
Same thing with James Rodriguez.
Right, but Bale has now come out and said, I have no interest in leaving Real Madrid.
Well, of course he's going to
They're
say
gonna
that.
force him out.
Yeah, well, okay, so if they force him out, they have to extra get him out. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I would just leave it on them, pay me all the money, you deal with your garbage, I'll go look for someone else's garbage that actually may be worth something.
Yeah.
And like that, because I just don't think that swap deal, what Real Madrid pieces are you like, ooh, yeah, gotta get that? Like,
Well, I mean, I'd take a Bale or
well, you wouldn't though. You're the man. Seriously.
with Bale, you've got to take two because Bale's
Yeah.
going to be hurt for half the year.
That's what I'm saying. And then was James really like blowing your Manchester United skirt up? Like, oh, I want this?
Maybe.
I don't
Might
know,
not
man.
be.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? Okay, before we go, just wanted to make mention of the fact that we do have our first casualty of World Cup 2022. Macau has been eliminated from contention for 2022.
Ciao,
after
Macau.
They decided to not play the second
Good
leg.
logo.
Yeah, brilliant logo, actually. They decided to not play the second leg versus Sri Lanka. They won the first leg in Macau and then said there are too many security concerns in Sri Lanka. We're not going to play. The game was supposed to be played today. FIFA canceled it, and FIFA awarded the tie to Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka advancing in World Cup qualifying. Macau, the first team that will not be at the World Cup in 2022.
We showed the first goal, now we show the first team out.
There we go.
Let's go.
There we go.
Ooh, a lot of comments about Paul Pogba, of course.
Pogba isn't good enough to play. Bale to the Columbus Crew. All right.
James would be a good fit for Manchester United. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean,
You don't know. You don't know. It could
You know
be-
where he'd be great? Inter Miami in that pink. All right, that's where he'd be good. All right, that's where you need to get him.
Guys, thanks for joining us for another edition of Post to Post. We'll be back on Wednesday with more action for you from the Women's World Cup as well. We didn't even get to European Championship qualifying today. Turkey lost, by the way, which puts France on top of that group, which is one of the big results of the day. Turkey allowing their first goal against. So
Somebody dropped 7 on somebody. I think Germany dropped 7 on somebody.
Germany dropped 8.
8, there you
Yeah,
go.
Germany dropped 8. So yeah, that's it for this edition of Post to Post, guys. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for the engagement. As always, we'll see you back here at noon tomorrow for Sports Burst with Gabby Amato. I think Dre Cordero is joining her for that. That'll be great. And then I'll be back here with Post to Post. Are you doing Post to Post?
Negative.
Somebody else is doing Post to Post. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
Did Germany celebrate all the goals?
I hope so.
I think they probably did. All 8 of them.